everybody. Hi, I am Patrick Yaggy, and I teach Latin in Tucson, Arizona at Basis Tucson North. We're going to look at Gimkit today. The first thing, this is really the reason why I'm going first, is we're going to do a Gimkit. So you can do this on another browser window, or if you want to use your phone. I mean, either way is fine. I'm going to share my screen and show us the Gimkit here. So like if we're in a regular classroom, this would be on my whiteboard projected, and then all of my students would have their Chromebook or their phone or whatever. So if we're in our classroom, you would see this up on the board, and I've set the timer for 3 minutes. We're going to do a real quick one. I'm going to give you a $20 starting cash because I'm nice. So you can go right to the store if you want to get things rolling. And it's 3 minutes. So it's just whoever gets the most money in 3 minutes. The other way to do that is whoever gets to like a certain dollar amount, right? You can do a race where the first to $10,000 or something. So we're all going to play Gimkit, and there are just 6 questions, you notice. And so you're going to get a bunch of the same questions. And that's on purpose because I use this for vocabulary primarily, so that repetition is fantastic. So go to gimkit.com/play and enter the code 84538. And I'm going to tell you the same thing that I tell my kids, which is that you got to use your real name, your first name, and maybe the last name initial. And that's because if I'm going to do this, I'm not doing this just to play a game. I'm going to do this because I want feedback of what my students know. So, at the end of this thing, when the game's over and I download that report of how everybody did, well, if you've logged in as Megatron 5000, that doesn't really tell me much. That doesn't tell me what because I don't know who Megatron 5000 is. For those of you that have never played Gimkit before, you can hover over the name and remove them. So if Nora didn't follow my directions, I could X her out and she'd have to log back in. It would let her log back in, but she's going to have to use her real. But in the interest of time, let's go ahead and I'm going to start the game. And good luck. Remember, go to the shop, get power-ups. All right, so the first thing I'll tell you is that music can get pretty repetitive and mind-numbing, and you can always go to the top right here and click on this speaker button to mute it or turn it back on. Up on the screen, it doesn't tell you how much money each person has, so you can click on like Claire's name. She's in the lead. She got $100. And it looks like Katie's taking the lead. So Katie's got 106. Well, she just paid $50 for something, so she's back to 106. Alan has 231. We're starting to see some people kind of separate out. The other thing I want to show you is that when you click on someone's name, and I got Alan here who's got 307. There's 4 buttons over here, and I've used Gimkit for a while, and I didn't actually realize that these things were there until I really started taking a look at this at the beginning of the summer for the presentation. But the first one is just to remove the player from the game. So, if Alan's kicking everybody's butt and he's being a jerk about it, You know, I might tell Alan to chill out, but if he doesn't, I guess I could just kick him out. Or maybe I just want to be mean and I could take 10% of his money away by this minus button. Or if I want him to really cream everybody, I could click this plus button and add 10% more to his game total. And then the cruelest thing of all really is if I hit this snowflake, this ice button, it ices him out for 15 seconds. He can't do anything for 15 seconds. And from the look of it, it looks like a lot of you would really appreciate if I did that. Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the first thing you'll see is, so Claire won. Good job, Claire, by the way, who I think actually won before as well. So she's got this thing down pat. Alan gave her a run for her money, literally, I guess. But you'll notice it's 4,500, 4,000, 3,000. Good job, Roya. But then precipitously it drops off, right? So person in 10th position, Lisa, she only had 400. So what this really tells you is that there's an algorithm to this game, and once you figure it out, you can really, you know, annihilate everybody. It has to do with, you know, buying certain power-ups, but not buying others that aren't as effective and things like that. Now, I'm not here to talk about that. I want to show you why you would do this. So I can click View Report. Okay, here we go. So here's the report, and this is the student overview. And of course, here we go, right? We can see how everybody did. And if I click on like Antonia's name, she answered 14 correct and she answered 4 incorrect. So I can see which answers she answered incorrectly. So notice she got this question 3 times, and 1 time she answered correct and twice she answered it incorrectly. So as I progress through our curriculum, I want to make note that she missed that question a couple times. And so that would be something that I would really want to reinforce with her and make sure that she gets it. So I can kind of go through and just sort of see what's going on there with that. You know, Jonathan, JB missed something 3 times, so I would want to know what that is, even though he answered 29 correct. And then the other thing is, of course, and this is what really helps me as a teacher, is here are all the questions I asked, and here's the breakdown. So which play mode is only available? And this, by the way, everybody, every time I've done this, it's always this question. 86 times you guys answered it correctly, but you missed it 18 times. So as your teacher, I'm going to make sure that I really hone in on that concept and really reinforce that, reteach it, reassess. But this is a really powerful tool, and I can download and print this out and all of that kind of thing too. So this is my home screen that shows all of the kits that I've made, and I'm trying to make one for every line of the Aeneid here, so you can see a lot of that. Before you go on and make your own kit, so before you hit new kit and start from scratch, the first thing that you should do is go to the search bar and search Cambridge Latin course, you know, stage 3. And if I want to build a kit off of the stage 3 vocabulary, I'm not going to do it by from scratch if I can. I'm going to see if anybody else has done it first. And lo and behold, here we go. So I'm going to click on this one. Look, they've even done a nice GIF here with it. I'm going to click on this one, and I'm going to check it out. I'm going to click on these, see what we got here, give it a shot. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it, and it's going to appear in my kits. So there it is. Now I can either just take it as is, or I can go over here and I can edit it. And so one of the things I'll tell you is frustrating to me about some of the Gimkits that are up here is that they've uploaded them and they've done like randomized in terms of the distractors. And this is a good example here. So Clamant means shout, right? Gets up and rises, not a bad distractor. Waits for, not a bad distractor. But hello. Okay, no one's picking hello, right? Because that's not a verb. And so what I would do is I would go out, I would edit this, and I would probably get rid of that and do like walks or something and save it. So now it has my answer, and then I just finish kit, and there it is. So I can edit it. The issue with those distractors, I think, is a problem for a lot of the kits that are out there. So let me you guys that have done this before, especially, let me show you something here. So if I go back to edit, and let's say I want to add some more questions, whether it's a new kid or this kid or whatever. If I import from Spreadsheet, it's going to tell me this. It's going to say, okay, you want to import from a spreadsheet because it might be a little faster for you. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to click on this template or that template, and it's going to open up a Google sheet, okay? And what it's going to do is open up this. And this is the template 1, and it gives you a column for the question, the correct answer, and then all the incorrect answers. Here is a really easy way to upload a whole bunch of questions all at one time, but to make sure that the distractors work really well. So I've put in a bunch of questions that all are just prepositions. So I would group all my vocabulary by part of speech. And here are all the correct answers. And this took less than a minute to type in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste and paste and paste. And then I'm gonna cut it and paste that last one, cut and paste these 2, cut and paste these 3. And now I've got my, what I guess is what, 7 questions, 8 questions. And here's the correct answer. And then really quickly, I've copied out the distractors, and they all kind of make sense. They're all prepositions because I've grouped them all by preposition. And then what Gimkit tells me to do is fill out the spreadsheet and then download it as a CSV file. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to download this thing. So file, download, and then CSV file. And my computer's running a little bit heavy here, so it might take a little bit. So I'm going to save it. And then back at Gimkit, it says, all right, so upload file. So here we go. So we're going to upload. We're going to go get that file. And boom, there they are. And you can see sub, under, without, into, onto, with. And they populate. And you can do that really quickly. And so getting back to, let me finish this. So getting back to my Aeneid kits, each one has 55 questions, which is a lot. And I grouped them all by part of speech, and then I did that little copy and paste magic. And even those 55 questions, it probably took me 10 minutes to make the kit. It really didn't take me any time at all. So it's a really nice, easy way to load kits on there. Incidentally, if you have Quizlet, then you can download an entire Quizlet into Gimkit, and it just makes the kit for you. So you don't have to, like, if you've already done them for Quizlet, you don't have to recreate them on your own. You just import it, and voila, it gives it to you. So a couple little tricks there about Gimkit. And then let's see, I think I have just another second that I wanted to show you something. The homework part of this. In fact, let me do this. You can take a Gimkit and assign it as a homework assignment. And so this is in our online setting, this is hugely important. Sorry, my computer's being a little slow. So you can create classes, and I created last year, 8th grade, Latin 4, AP, and then a CLC training one. And you can select the class, and you can put a due date on there. So maybe due tomorrow. And you can select the target cache. It defaults at 500,000, which I think is terrible because it would take you forever to do that. So maybe like 20,000. But then, you know, it takes every kid different amount of time. So what I'm also going to do is put a max of 10 minutes. So even if they haven't gotten to 20,000, it'll cut off at 10 minutes because I don't want my kids spending any more than 10 minutes on homework. And you create the assignment. And when you create the assignment, it gives you a link that you copy, and you would paste it into whatever avenue, whatever vehicle you use to interact with your kids. So like in my school, we're using Microsoft Teams. So I just create a Microsoft Teams assignment and put that link in there, and then, or put it in the chat feature of it, and we have it. So So that homework feature is a really big deal. And I'll tell you, there's another feature in Gimkit called the season. And I haven't played with that yet, but you can see it's right here. And I think the idea is that you can put kids against their classmates, and they accrue points as they go through multiple games, and it keeps track of their progress longitudinally. And so it's kind of nice that way, and creates gamifies the whole grading period or semester or whatever. That's the idea.